Let's start on page 129. Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshani. Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshani. Mizotola min hamidbar, mizotola Mekuteret mor ulevona, mor ulevona. Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshani. Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshani. Libavtini achoti chala, libavtini chala, libavtini achoti chala, libavtini chala. Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshani. Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshani. Uri safon uvo iteman. Uri safon uvo iteman. Va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshani. Dodi li va'ani lo haro'eh bashoshani.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos to all of you at the end of this beautiful fall week. And we've had rain. We've had lots of rain. Isn't that great? This, Gordon, I think we've had so many holidays and bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs and special occasions on Friday night. This is one of the first just regular Friday night services we've had in a while.
Yeah.
So I was looking forward to it. I want to welcome all of you. I know we have one couple visiting from Seattle, Bonnie and Scott visiting from Seattle, feeling out Napa is maybe the next place they're going to settle. And everyone else, great to see you. Good Shabbos. Rachel and Minnie, I haven't seen you guys for a while. I'm glad you're here tonight. And because I always like to put people to work, I'm going to ask you to come and light our Shabbat candles. So the blessings are on page 120 if you would like to follow along.
Wait, hold on. I'll do that. Here, we'll move it.
That's
I'll just hold it because it's typical.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu v'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Here, let's put it there. Yeah, I'll sing it. It's going to fall over if you put it there. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, V'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Why don't you blow out that bottom part there too?
There we go.
Or, yeah.
After 4 years here, I'm convinced we have trick candles. There always seems to be some drama associated with our candles, but they always wind up lighting just fine after a few minutes of struggle. Gordon had mentioned to me before services started that one of the Kabbalat Shabbat prayers that we haven't actually sung for a little while, Lecha Dodi, he's got a new melody for that. So if you would turn to page, we haven't done it for so long, I forgot the page number. Lecha Dodi is on page 138. Gordon's going to teach us this new melody.
Yeah, I heard this at Central Synagogue. And I haven't really done it. I've transcribed it, so we'll do it slowly. We'll learn the main part, the Lecha Dodi, and I'll slowly do a couple of the verses. It's pretty accessible. It's like this. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. We'll do that again. Here we go. Lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. We'll slow it down a little bit for these verses. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad ki shemianu el hamichad Adonai echad u'shemo echad v'shem u'tiferet v'litila lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Let's see, we'll do number 2. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mechor habracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh v'machshava tefila lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Let's jump to number 9.
Please rise.
Bohi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'v'tzohala toch emunei Likrat kala Pnei Shabbat Ikabela lecha dodi Likrat kala Pnei Shabbat Nikabela.
We continue on page 146 with our call to worship. The Barachu, if you are able, please remain standing. And a welcome to those of you at home. I always forget to welcome people watching from home.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. HaMevorach HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed.
Please join me in English at the top of page 149. Let's read this passage together. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. And let's also read together at the bottom of page 151. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. That there is a better place, a promised land. That the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 158.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא עושה, נורא עושה אדוני, ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש.
Page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, v'imru Yerushalayim.
Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Please take a moment now for your own silent thoughts and prayers.
Lie, 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 lie. You'll find the Hebrew for this on page 176 at the top. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. La 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 la. Modim anachnu lach, sha'atahu Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu, Le'olam va'ed. Modim anachnu lach, sha'atahu Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei imoteinu, Le'olam va'ed. Oh, give thanks for the sky above, for the new snow of December, for the spring and a summer song that the autumn winds remember. Oh, sing out for the love that grows and the life that flows within us. Oh, be glad for another day. Modim anachnu lach, sha'atahu Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu, le'olam va'ed. Modim anachnu lach, sha'atahu Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei imoteinu, le'olam va'ed. Eloheinu ve'Elohei imoteinu, le'olam va'ed.
At this point in our service, we think of those in need of healing on this Shabbat, healing of body, healing of spirit, and healing of heart. And we ask God to bestow the bracha, the blessing of refuah shlema, full and complete healing on the following men and women from our community or those known and loved by those in our congregation: Harris Nussbaum, Lynn Mikulski, Ilana Massey, Kevin Brackett, Ginny Sims, Eileen Conklin, Nancy Jeanette, Michelle Camissia, Joshua Hyman, Dylan Bonnick, Diane Butler, Elsa Loach, Tony Wine, Elena Goldman, Mark Charney, Roger Widman, Ralph Garber, Maggie Sherman, Colleen James, and Michael Edwards. And if anyone has a name of someone in need of healing on this Shabbat, please share that name with us now.
Ed Madovic and Zaza Federer. Jesse Friedman. David and Louise Stafferton. Jewish
The Misha Berach prayer is on page 511.
Berach Avotenu, Mishe Berach Beimotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, Hu yivarech et hacholim. Mishe berach avotenu, Mishe berach v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, Hu yivarech et hacholim.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos again to all of you here and everyone watching at home. And a special Shabbat welcome to Bonnie and Scott. The Torah portion for this Shabbat is a very important one, but its greatest claim to fame, I think, is that it was the Torah portion for Ella Nelson's bat mitzvah. And it's called Chayei Sarah. Maybe has anyone else had this as a bar bat mitzvah Torah portion? It's from the book of Genesis, chapters 23 through 25, and it's a very transitional Torah portion in the book of Genesis. A lot of things happen in this parsha. It ends with the death of Abraham, the very first Jew, the patriarch of our people. A little bit before the end of the Torah portion, Abraham marries a second time a woman named Keturah. There's a kibbutz I know in the Negev called Kibbutz Keturah that I visited when I lived there many years ago. And the bulk of the Torah portion focuses on finding a wife for their son Isaac, who ultimately turns out to be, anybody? Who does Isaac marry? Rebecca, thank you. But even though all these different things happen in this Torah portion, it opens with the death of Sarah. The very first line, and we're going to be exploring this in depth tomorrow morning during Torah study. It opens with the death of Abraham's wife, Sarah, the matriarch of the Jewish people. And it is seemingly very sudden. It occurs immediately after the very last scene of the previous Torah portion. Does anyone know what that last scene is of the previous Torah portion? I'll give you a hint. We read it on Rosh Hashanah morning every year. Sorry? The Akedah, the story of the binding of Isaac, exactly. So that scene is the binding and near sacrifice of their son Isaac, committed by Sarah's husband Abraham. Now, many rabbinic commentators going back centuries have suggested that there's a connection between Sarah's death and that scene. And they suggest that the connection between the two is that Sarah experienced PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. According to this interpretation, and rabbis 1,000 years ago wouldn't have called it PTSD, but some of us today would. According to this interpretation, Sarah didn't die of natural causes. Sarah died of shock, or of pain, or of grief. How would you feel if your spouse tried to kill your child or your children? Trauma of whatever kind can be crippling. It can be paralyzing, and sometimes it can lead to death. I have seen the effects of PTSD over the years in my work as a law enforcement chaplain, including here with Napa PD. But trauma can take many forms: family abuse, workplace situations, existential crises that some of us go through during the course of our lives. During this pandemic, all of us, I think, have experienced at least some degree of trauma. How we react to it largely depends on what sort of support system that we have. Do we have close friends or family? Do we belong to a community or a congregation? Are we in effective therapy? There is no single way to process and navigate trauma, to find a sense of resiliency in the face of pain and disorientation. But no one should have to go through it alone. We are all in this together. If you know someone who is struggling, who seems stunted and stuck by life's challenges, be proactive. Make sure they are getting the support and the help they need. Invite them out for coffee. Invite them into your home. If you're a member of CBS, invite them to join you here. Not only will you be performing a mitzvah, you may even be saving a life. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. We are going to continue on page 586 with the Aleinu, and again, if you are able, please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמן ככל המונם, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. I have the honor now of inviting up board member Judy Nystrom to share some important announcements with you tonight.
Now I can take my mask off.
Yes.
Let's see if I can undo myself here. Shabbat Shalom. I'm very glad to see you all tonight and to welcome those of you who have not been with us before or who are coming more and more often. Tomorrow morning at 10:30 is Torah study with Rabbi. It's also on Zoom if you can't come here. Religious school, Max, begins at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday. He's my new friend. Next week, Shabbat services will be led by Nadia and Katie DePasqua. Katie, are you here?
There.
Where? Oh, there you are. Good. There's a glare right exactly there. The Warriors Jewish Heritage Night is coming up December 6th, if you're interested, and would like to discuss details, contact Rabbi or Dr. Stephen Guggenheim by November 10th. Last time we were there, they weren't in the new building yet.
I don't think so.
No.
I'm a Chicago Bulls fan.
Oh, yeah, I forget that
but
all
I
the
still
time.
wanna go.
We'd like to give warm wishes this week for birthdays and anniversaries to Teresa Barnes, Norb Frost, Barbara Lustig, Jan Sabo, and Carl Rice. Sorry. Happy anniversary to Bradley and Deborah Wasserman. I hope everybody has a good week.
Thank you, Judy. You know, I just want to make an observation. More and more people seem to be coming here in person to CBS. We're being very careful with our protocols. Gordon and I have this plexiglass shield. Everyone here is masked. And if they're eligible, vaccinated. And more people are getting the booster. So obviously do what makes you most comfortable, but we can't see you when you're at home, and if you're comfortable, we would love to see you here in person, but we'll just keep doing everything in a hybrid way, and hopefully people will get more and more comfortable as the pandemic begins to subside. Our thoughts turn now to those who are no longer with us, those who have died recently and in seasons past, those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those who our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We remember and honor those who have died during this past year. Rosie Rosenthal, Elliot Kapchan, Bill Chiat, Ed Hames, Arthur Waldinger, Judy Donaldson, Elizabeth Mautner, Helen Goodman, Michael Duff Fisher, Margaret Mary Oliveto, Ahuva Ben David, Dr. I. Harold Shevlin, Isadora Smith, Sanford Rubin, Stuart Paley, Bonnie Kapeloff Mamie, Dr. Ian Miller, Jimmy Rabb, Sandra Somick, Michael Gordon, Larry Elson, Arnold Trombler, and Erica Cornelison. We also remember and honor the yard sites of Marlene Hartstein Schoenfeld, Morton Sherman, Morton Pastrell, Charles Shapiro, Marion Mimi Hirshorn, Jay Barish, Dora Green, Reinhold Werner Frost, Leigh Medine, Bill Warfield, Janice Rummelsberg, and Jerome Good. And if you have the name of someone you wish to share, please do so.
Joey Robino.
The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach heratei v'yimlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'agala uv'izman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah me'orach le'alam u'lamei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalel v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace grant peace to all those in mourning and comfort to all those who are bereaved. And let us all say amen. Amen. Please be seated. Before Kiddush and Motzi, we have a final song tonight. And Gordon, what have you chosen for us this evening?
What have I chosen? I've chosen Vishamru.
Or what has the Spirit moved you to pick?
We're going to do Vishamru, page 604, which is often used as a part of the Kiddush for Shabbat morning.
That's right. That's right.
Lai lai la la lai la 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 lai la 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 lai Vishamru B'nai Yisrael Vishamru B'nai Yisrael Et HaShabbat La'asot Et HaShabbat La'asot Et HaShabbat L'dorotam Berito lam la 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 Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam Vishamru Yisrael Vishamru B'nai Yisrael Et HaShabbat La'asot Et HaShabbat La'asot Et HaShabbat L'dorotam Berito lam lai la 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 Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai Et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz V'shamru B'nai Yisrael Vishamru B'nai Yisrael Et HaShabbat La'asot Et HaShabbat La'asot Et HaShabbat L'dorotam Berito lam Uvayom Hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Uvayom Hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Vishamru B'nai Yisrael Vishamru B'nai Yisrael Et HaShabbat La'asot Et HaShabbat La'asot Et HaShabbat L'dorotam Berito lam lai la 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 Vishamru
Before services started, I asked Naomi and Max and Jesse if they would do the blessings for us over wine and challah. What I didn't know is, I'm guessing this is your mom's yard site, and I can't think of, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I can't think of a more beautiful way to honor her memory than to have your family come up and say these blessings on Shabbat. So would you please come up? And everyone else, would you please rise?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Just say it.
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Okay, we'll sing it once.
Yeah, we'll sing it.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen.
L'chaim. Go ahead. Okay, we're going to do the motzi now. Would you go ahead and lift this? Max, you want to grab an end of it? And let's sing this one, and let's all join in with their family.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'tei avam.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.